My topic today, guys, is are babies born addicted to or withdrawing from opioids, which is very, very well known right now with babies being born with opiates in their system. Do you honestly know how many babies are born with opiates in their fragile little bodies every year? It's published today in the Journal for American Medical Association. About 13,539 infants every year are born. For better understanding, that would be 1 for every hour. The author of the study says, Stephen Patrick, a fellow partner in the neonatal prenatal medicine at the University of Michigan. This is because their mothers are using opiates while they are still pregnant. Many newborns being born are born with addicted mothers, will have a wide range of problems and symptoms. These newborns experiencing from withdrawals from exposure to narcotics experience withdrawals almost immediately and can even be diagnosed with neonatal abstinence syndrome after birth. Many of these newborns require special aftercare even after being released from the hospital. They really only have 2 options. That's either a pharmaceutical or non-pharmaceutical care. Opiate addiction has a devastating impact on everyone around, but more so the helpless newborns. Opiate addiction has a devastating impact not only on the user, but even more on the fetus when the user is a pregnant woman. Many of these women become addicted to opiates from simply taking prescription pain medication to either help cope with an illness or relieve their pain. After these mothers found that they were pregnant, they wanted to stop, but was far too addicted to stop. It is clear that the mother is the one with the addiction, and the child born is simply having withdrawals. Opiates come in a variety of prescription medication: codeine, hydrocodone, morphine, fentanyl, and the cheapest of all, heroin. Opiates are passed through the fetus via the mother's placenta. It is the mother's voluntary actions in her introducing opiates to her unborn child. The mother's choice to use opiates while being pregnant leads to many more health problems at birth. Cheryl Bassard, PhD and author of the Centers of Disease and Control and Prevention, the National Center of Birth Defects and Development, reports that major birth defects affects the newborns from opiate-addicted mothers. About 3% out of 4 million in the United States of the live births. Determining the most optimal care setting for infants with neonatal abstinence syndrome and their families is an important factor because no one case is the same. What is neonatal abstinence syndrome? In Florida, the Center of Illicit Prescription Drug Trade, the number of babies with withdrawal syndrome soared from 354 in 2006 to 13,704 in 2010, according to the State Agency for the Healthcare Administration. Neonatal abstinence syndrome, also known as NAS, is a group of conditions caused when a baby's withdrawals from certain drugs he or she is exposed to in the womb from birth. When you take these drugs during pregnancy, they can pass through the placenta and cause serious problems for your baby. After a child's birth, he or she begins to withdraw from the substance. It was exposed and it continues to cause health issues that can affect the newborn's neurological, gastrological, and anatomic problems. These symptoms include tremors, irritability, sleep problems, high-pitched crying, tightening of muscles, even seizures. These are just to name a few of the commonly seen symptoms, but could also suffer from birth defects. Once an addicted mother gives birth and her child is born, the staff at the medical center will use a neonatal abstinence scoring system. The NAS system sheet lists 21 symptoms that can most frequently be observed in opiate-exposed infants. Infants born with neonatal syndrome are among the most challenging patients to care for in the care unit. Infants with NAS require ongoing clinical assessment and care for withdrawal symptoms. Infants born with neonatal syndrome are among the most challenging patients to care for in the neonatal intensive care unit. Infants with NAS require ongoing clinical assessment and care for the withdrawal symptoms. There are few options when it comes to caring for these babies. Many don't have an option because their withdrawals are so bad that they are put on pharmacological management, which consists of an infant being given narcotics, like morphine, to numb their withdrawal symptoms. The other choice is non-pharmacological management, and these newborns get extra hugs, extra attention. There are many groups from which are formed where they go in and sit and hold these babies. Attention is all they really need. It really does take an army to strengthen these babies. To conclude, as the opium crisis continues, it is estimated that every 20 minutes a child is born addicted to painkilling drugs. This has become a normal within our country. With these newborns being born with opium withdrawals and suffering from the withdrawal symptoms, it has become a new normal. It is very straightforward. The mother is the one who has the addiction and is the newborn that is born suffering from withdrawals. The mother's selfish choice is to use opiates while being pregnant, which leads to numerous health problems down the road for the child. Beginning at birth and carrying on as they grow older, even birth defects. The only way to help is beginning to help the newborn cope with the symptoms with pharmacological and extra love. This is not just about condemning the addicts. It is how we can help them when they can't help themselves. We need to shift these conversations from the problem that it is centered around to the solution-based conversation. One child born with opium withdrawals is one too many.